Hey everybody, you guys, jump in. I got a quick second for you guys. It is Sunday. It is Father's Day. I have some food on the stove, so I'm gonna have to go cut that off in a second. But you guys, come on in with me really quick. Come on in with me really quick. We're gonna be in Genesis, and I just want to talk about something that it brought up, right? Hi everybody. We're gonna be in Genesis. I just walked back in the door. I've been going all morning, but hi everybody. I wanted to sit with you guys for a minute before we end because I'm not gonna let Father's Day. Hi, love you guys too. Let Sunday go by without having, a Father's Day sermon for our Father in heaven. Amen. I pray you guys. Hi. Thank you. I tried to look cute. Yeah, so I just wanted to give some homage to God today. Just thank you for everything that you do. But also, it's Juneteenth, which we know is our holiday, right? Freedom. Freedom for us, and it's Father's Day. So it's a lot happening in this one day, and it's just raining all day. I don't know if you guys, it's raining where you guys are, but here it's just raining, like uncontrollably, just raining. On, off, just raining, right? And I was outside, and it was a thunderstorm, and it was just raining, and my kid's father, he was just like, what is God saying? What is God saying? And I'm like, how do I know what God is saying? But of course you guys know I know what God is saying. Anyway, he led me to Genesis 4 and Genesis 5. Only a tiny bit in 5. They don't go together, but I'm gonna make them come together, right? They don't go together, but I'm gonna make it happen because I just feel like one part is Juneteenth, the other part is Father's Day, and all of it equates to the same thing. Right here. Amen. So if you guys want to bear with me really quick while I read. And then I'm going to have to jump up in a second and check on my food because I'm making some rice and some country stuff Anywho, so I'm going to do 4, verse. 1 through 13. So Genesis 4, chapter 4, verse 1 through 14. And then I'm just going to read after that. I'm going to do Genesis 5, and it's going to literally be like 2 verses. No, just 1 verse. Genesis 5 and 1. Happy Juneteenth, you guys. Hold on, let me go check on my rice really quick. So sit back. Okay, so boom. I had to go check on my food. So, I'm going to start off reading really quick, right? So, Genesis 4, 1 through 14. It says, Now Adam knew Eve, his wife, and conceived and bore Cain, saying, I have gotten a man with help from the Lord. And again she bore another brother, Abel. Now Abel was a keeper of the sheep, and Cain was a worker of the ground. In the course of the time, Cain brought to the Lord an offering of the fruit of the ground, and Abel also brought the first. Abel also brought of the firstborn of his flock and their fat portions. And the Lord had regard for Abel and his offering, but for Cain his offering had no regard. So Cain was very angry, and his face fell. The Lord said to Cain, Why are you angry? And why has your face fallen? If you do well, will you not be accepted? And if you do not do well, sin is crouching at your door. Its desire is contrary to you, but you must rule over it. Cain spoke to Abel his brother, and when they were in the field, Cain rose up against his brother and killed him. Then the Lord said to Cain, Where is your brother? He said, I do not know. I am not my brother's keeper. Am I my brother's keeper? And the Lord said, What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood is crying from the ground, and you are cursed from the ground, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. Listen, I'm about to make it make sense in 1 second. I'm cutting it off. Cut my rice off. Okay, so boom. So here we go, hood version. Cain and Abel were born from the same mother and father. They were brothers, right? So basically it's saying that Cain brought to God an offering, right? But it was just like, I'm going to do it because you're God and you told me to bring an offering. I'm not going to give you anything good, anything great. I'm just going to give you what I want to give you, right? But Abel came with the first of everything. He came with the cream of the crop. He came with the babies, the mamas, everything. Like, he came with everything, even the fat of the food. Like, he came to God with, like, you blessed me, so I'm going to bless you back. He came with gratefulness of God. Abel came with the best of the best. And instead of Cain being like, well, dang, okay, God, let me go back and get the rest, he got mad and cursed his brother and killed his brother. He rose up against his brother in anger. But the key thing that I saw in this was God said to him, he said, if you do well, will you not be accepted? God is telling him, all you got to do is go back, go bring me an offering, and it will be better. God says, why wouldn't I accept it? But instead, Cain decided to hold anger, jealousy, bitterness, hatefulness, and rose up and killed his brother because his brother had eyes to see and ears to hear that God was so good. It made no sense. It made no sense for him to kill his brother when all he had to do was go back and change his behavior. To go back. It made no sense. But instead, you killed your own brother. And then when God came to Cain, he said, where is your brother Abel? And he says, am I my brother's keeper? I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper? And it hit me so hard, and I'm going to make it correlate with the Juneteenth, because are we our brother's keeper? We say freedom, but what does freedom mean? And we can't all be free and all be united if one race is being pulled down and everyone else is rising up, bringing God all the good offerings, all the good tithings. But then the others are back there like, we don't even have a crumb. We can't say freedom without saying everyone. Are we going to look back and say, oh, we forgot these, and go get them? Are we not our brother's keeper? Are we not our brother's keeper? You can't be truly free if someone else is being oppressed and not say anything. Are we not our brother's keeper? Or are we going to sit here and let a shade of skin, a thing called melanin or pigment, separate God's true brothers? And I'm going to use brother as a unisex because are we not our brother's keeper? Someone's at my door. Who is it? Hold on, you guys. Y'all, this is crazy. Today is crazy. I'm back. Someone just knocked on my door out the blue and had the wrong address and everything. So, yeah. Sorry about that. Clearly, the devil is working right now. Anywho, we're going to come back and I left my Bible. Sorry. Got it. Good. So we can't say, yeah, here we go. Sorry about that. The devil is just like everywhere. He do not want me to get this out, but we're going to get it out. I just want to go back to saying that we are not free unless everyone is free. We cannot say that we are a land of the free when other people are being oppressed, suppressed. That's not true. And we can't be truly liberated unless people come back and get the ones that are oppressed still. There's no way that we can continue to say that this is the land of the free when your brothers are dying. Your brothers are getting killed in the street. Your brothers are afraid to drive their car without being pulled over and murdered. Where little girls and little boys are still being hunted down and not treated like a teenager, but treated like a criminal that's done the worst of the worst crimes. When weed is legal in one state and illegal in the other, and the cream of the cream, the cream de la cream, will get away with smoking it, and the others are doing 10 years in prison for it. It doesn't make sense. Because of color, you get away with it, and because of color, you get locked up for it to the maximum. Until we are all treated on the same accord, until we are all treated on the same accord, we will not be free. We are our brother's keeper, each and every one of us. And we can go back and say 400 years, and I can give you a history lesson when all I have to do is give you a humility check. How is your heart? How do you sleep at night knowing that people are being gunned down? And you can say black on black crime, and I'll say the good old boys crime where they hung us from trees. And now we're trying to come back and figure out what we got going on in life. It's not about who did what, when, where. It's about what's right. It's about what's right. And I don't care what the statistics say. I don't care what kind of numbers they scheme up. What is right? Can you sit back and watch one of your brothers being killed without saying anything? Without saying one word? We are each other's keeper. We are our brother's keeper. We are each other's keeper. We can't keep sitting back being quiet. We can't keep sitting back letting blood being spilled and saying, Black lives matter, white lives matter, blue lives matter, which isn't a thing, that's a color. Anyway, we can't just keep sitting back and saying nothing at all while people are being murdered and saying nothing about it and doing nothing about it, and keep making more shirts and dresses and saying rest in peace this person and rest in peace that person. No. Not at all. Where someone can go into a school and shoot up babies and be escorted out and go get McDonald's, while another person goes and kills a whole church house and just keeps walking out the door like it's nothing. But then you get pulled over by police and get gunned down because you are scary, but the person that's killing babies and killing innocent people in grocery stores are just misguided adults or children or had a tragic life. Because of the color of the skin, it gets dumbed down. No skin is better than the other. We all bleed the same blood. As God said in the Bible, he said, your brother's blood is crying from the ground, he said to Cain. Your brother's blood is crying from the ground. Our brothers are crying from the grave. When is freedom gonna be free for all? When is freedom gonna be free for all? When is the united actually gonna be united? Because I'm confused at why we have to even fight for a holiday because of our skin when we were over here not on our own accord. And then you hear people say, go back to where you come from. Well, darling, we don't know where we come from. We don't have the luxury of having photos of our great-grandma and our great-great-grandma. We don't have that luxury. But we can go look at a slave yard and see chains, whips, statues, cotton fields. We don't know where we come from. So we can't go back to that home. We have this and we have this, and this says United States. And how can we be united if we're not free? How can we be united if we are not equal? No skin is better than another. Not one. I'm not better than you, and you are not better than me. We are brothers and sisters in Christ. We played together in heaven. So what is the difference now? What is the difference now? Zip code separates the poor from the rich and the medium class. Instead of the rich coming down to the poor and saying, let me help you up. They vacation on yachts in Paris and Rome and all of these places instead of coming back into the community. They come and buy the houses to move their people in and make everybody else go out to where we can't even have a place to stay. Rent is 4 times higher than we could ever even imagine. And if you don't got it, well, you're out of luck. You say create generational wealth, but what is generational wealth when our generation comes from the land of being whipped and raped and molested and hung from trees? That's the generational wealth that was left for us. A generation that cried from the seas that they came over. We don't have generational wealth. We have this dream of creating it for our children and our children's children, but we don't know how. Even the schools are systematically kept there to keep us down. We don't have that luxury, but we're fighting. So I ask that you guys join us in the fight to help us better ourselves. Educate ourselves, create generational wealth for our children and our children's children, just as you leave it for yours. We are all one people. We are all one people. We can't create something we don't know, but we can keep trying every single day. We don't know. I'm the first to say we don't know. I didn't know how to run a bank account when I was older. I didn't know how to save money when I was in my 1920s. I didn't even know how to apply for an apartment or anything because I didn't know and my mama didn't know. We don't know where we come from, but we're trying. Every day we're trying. And that's all we can do. But I'm asking you guys to stop thinking about skin color and think about your heart and your heart posture. And when you sit around here, and try to oppress us even worse, it doesn't do anything for us. I need you to understand that even in the Bible it says that, are you your brother's keeper? Yes. Yes. And yes. I will keep you and you will keep me. We have to. We have to. That's the only way that we're going to actually be free. And you can't discover a land where people were. You can't come over and say you discovered something that was never yours in the first place. It's time to pay homage to the people whose land you came on and discovered in the first place. It's time to stop whitewashing the books and lying and tell the truth, and it will set you free. And it's okay. We all made mistakes. We're not going to rise up and do all of this crazy stuff that was done to us. We don't want to do that. We just want peace and love. We're not mean. We're not nasty. We're actually very loving. I'm probably one of the most loving people you will ever meet. That's probably one of my faults. I'm going to go to Genesis 5. That's my Juneteenth version. Genesis 5, one verse, the very first verse. This book is of the generation of Adam. When God created man, he created him in the likeness of God. When God created man, he created them in the image and likeness of God. If you don't know who your father is on earth, or if you like me, you have a dad here who isn't a dad, who's never been a dad, who actually tried to sell me for drugs and all kind of stuff, beat my mama down, beat us down, all kind of things. You don't have an earthly father. God says, I am your father. And not only am I your father, you look just like me, says God. He says, I created you in my own likeness. So you're your daddy's son. You're your daddy's daughter. You look just like God. He created you specifically. He made you unique. And he made you a portion of him. We look just like our Father in heaven. And I don't need you guys to get depressed on Father's Day because some men stepped down out of life. And I need you to go and think about what they came from. And Again, we can't go back and fix time, but we can't always be the victim in life. We have to start being victorious. And the things that were done to me, some days it's hard for me to let go, but I have to let go and let God. And understand that people are vessels. And our mother and father did the best that they knew how growing up. And I see all of this hurt and pain. And I know all of this hurt and pain that comes from not having a father, or having a father that chose drugs over me for 36 years of my life. But I have a God that chooses everything for me. And he will come down from heaven and tear this earth apart for his daughter. Just like that God will come and tear the earth apart for you. I have a God that will not play about his children. God is not going to play about his children. And even though your earthly dad don't give two craps about you, this one loves you with everything in you. He loves you with everything in him. I don't care that your dad here did not care about you, baby. God in heaven says, you are mine, I choose you, and I wish someone would put their hands on my kids. I know what abandonment feels like. I know what being sold for crack feels like. I know what getting beat down by my father feels like. I know what not even having him to even say a happy birthday to me feels like in 36 years. I know what all of that feels like, and I understand what people's pain is. And I see now the men on here saying, well, why don't they have a Father's Day out? It's coming. Because this generation is going to be different from our fathers' fathers. Because this generation knows what that hurt feels like, and they're not going to let that happen to their children. I speak life upon you and your children. I speak that you are able to start doing things for your children that your father never did. And it's coming. But I need you to understand that yes, it hurts, but that does not define you. Because your father was not there for you does not define you. And laying with another man and laying with another woman and all this stuff does not take away the pain that caused by him not being there. I need you to understand that God in heaven chooses you every single day of the week. And just because man didn't choose you doesn't mean God doesn't. He wakes up every single day asking, how can he be a blessing to you? God is waiting for you to come to him every single day. And God is about to do it for you. I know it hurts not having a father. I myself know that. And as I sit here and watch my daughter with her dad, and it was something that I could only dream about as a baby. I've always wanted to be a daddy's girl. That's something that I've always wanted to be. I always wanted to be like, you know what, I'm going to call my daddy. Yeah, my bills due. Oh, I'm going to call my daddy. Oh, you my boyfriend, you ain't acting up. I'm going to call my daddy. But I've never had that luxury. Never. But my daughter will. And it's breaking cycles of having us have healthy relationships with our kid's father and our kid's mother, so we can break those nasty cycles. My daughter would never feel what it feels like to be me, because I'm breaking those generational cycles. But you also have to start letting go and letting God. And also, I am a daddy's girl. I'll call my daddy on you in a second. I'll call my God on you in a second. I'll call my daddy on you in a second. And God says, I'm near to the fatherless. I'm near to the widows and the fatherless. And if you cry out, I will come down here and I will bring heaven and earth, and I will show up and show out with you. So I don't need you guys to be depressed right now because you don't have a physical dad here, or if your father went to the promised land with God. I don't need you to be sad right now. This is a day of rejoicing, because although you don't have the physical, you have a God, and he don't play no games when it comes to his children, and you are his baby. So I'm going to sign off because I'm making dinner, but I just wanted you guys to know we are our brother's keeper, and we can't keep sitting by and watching other people get killed and oppressed and depressed and suppressed and all the presses, because we are our brother's keeper, men and women. When I say brothers, it's a unisex. We are our brother's keeper. Freedom ain't free until we all free. United ain't united until we all united. Yes, it's Juneteenth. That's just a stepping stone. There's so much damage to be fixed. Who's going to stand up and say, you know what, we messed up, how can we go from here? And I don't need to see the angry speeches and the hate speeches and y'all did this and this. We forgive you. We forgive you. Now what can we do to get to the next chapter? What's next? How can freedom be freedom for all? The blood of our ancestors is crying out. And if you don't have a physical dad, understand this. God chooses you every single day. Every single day. And you are a daddy's girl. I know. And you are daddy's chosen son. And he is proud of you. Every step that you're taking, God is proud of you. I never got to hear my dad on earth tell me that he was proud of me. Never. Not once. Never. But my God in heaven tells me every day, I'm proud of you. So I want to take a second and tell every man, every king, every queen on here that I am very proud of you. You survived some of your darkest days. You survived everything that came to steal, kill, and destroy you. You survived it. I'm so proud of you. Even if you stop smoking for one day, it's one day closer to your goal. Don't give up your dreams. Don't fall short. I'm so proud of you. So proud of you. You're choosing every day to wake up and keep going. That's a stepping stone in itself. And nothing is going to defeat you. Not one thing is going to defeat you. You can do this thing called life. There's no instructions on life. There's no instructions on parenting. Plenty of people say many things. There's thousands and thousands of books about parenting. Until you get that one unruly child that make you want to think life again. And God says, I don't need instructions for you. I created you. I know every road that you're going to go down. I know every bump in the road that you're going to go down. I know it. And I still choose you. You're never too far from God's grace. And yes, I'm a daddy's girl. I love you all. You guys have a good night.